Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.
We have reached week 2 and game 3 of the young 2018 high school football season around the Sac Joaquin section. And tonight we come to you from the Big House, and the emphasis will be on speed, as the undefeated Inderkum Tigers come in to play the host Sacramento High School Dragons. Tonight on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Good evening and welcome to Hughes Stadium here on the campus of Sacramento City College. Along with the Imperator of Analysis, Hall of Famer Jim Domino, I'm Will James. We welcome you aboard. And tonight, quite a provocative matchup of these two ball clubs. They haven't had much of a history, so when they get together, lots of the unexpected will surface.
Well, a lot is to be expected. Both teams have outstanding speed, and despite the fact the Sac High is 0-2, look out tonight. And when they last met approximately 2 years ago in the Mud Bowl, Inderkum prevailed 35-33. They were ahead 20-0 in the ball game. Sac came back and tied it, and almost before the ball game was 33-all. And then in a muddy afternoon game at Sac, a safety occurred and Inderkum won it by 2 points, 35-33.
And you were there as an eyewitness under winter, sloppy, rainy, muddy conditions, and what a day that was with the topsy-turvy roller coaster type swings in that game. Now, as far as the last outings for these ball clubs, it's just their third game each, but contrasting results for each of these ball clubs, Jim.
Well, let's start with the ambush in the Thomas. Easy victory for Inderkum, 69-0, and they had to play running clock. The offense rolled, the defense dominated. The Tigers devoured the Wolves. They scored 8 touchdowns in the first half and then ended up using their number 2s and 3s, using all their players as the clock became running in this football game. Meanwhile, Sacramento had played Chico and was ahead late in the game until a field goal. Had played great defense. A field goal was the difference in this ball game, with Chico prevailing 15-14.
And that three-pointer came with just 23 seconds remaining in the ball game. Tough loss for the Dragons, so you can imagine how eager they are to get into the win column. Both clubs, as always, will rely heavily on the impact players, and for the visitors, Inderkum head coach Terry Stark is going to put his chips on the Torrid Tigers.
Well, with those Torrid Tigers, let's start with running back Raymond Brown, number 3, and he could go to the house. Believe it or not, he's averaging 19.3 per carry with 2 touchdowns. And, of course, Isaiah Ward, the big outside backer, tight end, outstanding hands, great outside backer. Logan Benoit inside, outstanding year going, 1 sack, 7 tackles. Devin Williams, number 24, keep your eyes on him. He's got 10 tackles already and 1 sack. And Coach Stark feels very strong about his front 7.
Well, on the flip side of that, the usually high-scoring Sacramento Dragons have been anything but that in their first 2 ball games, and with good reason. 10 injuries to key players, mostly starters, have decimated certain areas of their ball club, but Dragons head coach Joe McRae hopeful that his impact players can carry the load tonight. The Deluxe Dragons are on the spot.
Well, with the Deluxe Dragons, let's start with their halfback, Felton. Javon Felton, outstanding running back, only 5'7", but he can go to the house with his speed. Outstanding year last year, off to a slow start. Devon Drayton, the two-way starter, outstanding wide receiver and defensive back. Watch him on punt returns and kickoff returns. Michael Williams, outstanding receiver, one of the few people back from last year's outstanding receiving corps. And of course, the quarterbacks, Jackson and Taylor, fighting it out for that first string spot. And Taylor will get the start tonight, but you'll see Jackson as well. And tonight, that's an important step for the Dragons to open up that offense.
Well, it should be an interesting, if not provocative, ball game based on the styles these teams play and the tremendous team speed both of them will bring to tonight's ball game. When we come back, we're going to check in with the third member of our announcing team, Lauren Goodman. She has much more on tonight's big matchup, so stay with us. We'll be right back to Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bella and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Welcome to the big show. We're here at Hughes Stadium, and we've got quite a matchup for you on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Sac High playing host to undefeated Inderkum High School. Crowd still filing in. And we have Lauren Goodman standing by down on field level with this report. Lauren?
Starting with our coaching counterparts for today, the away visiting Tigers are led by Terry Stark. In his 14th season with the Tigers, he has put on a winning streak, pushing it to 149 wins and only 27 losses. Since he's been the head over there, he has 11 straight league titles. He has set a league of dominance for the Inderkum Tigers, and he has flourished in it. Hasn't prospered in the SJA title yet, but he has an overall record of 22-12. Coach Stark is pushing the tempo for the Tigers and leading them in a great way this season. For our away team, for our home team, we have the Dragons. The Dragons are led by Joe McCray, not only the head coach, but also the defensive coordinator for the Dragons. He has a 7-7 record, just in his second season, still young, but he has been a part of the memorable moments with the Sac High Dragons, being a part of the 2016 52-game winning streak snap of the Folsom Bulldogs and the Del Campo 4 overtime playoff thriller. Coach McCray may have a young career, but he is definitely experienced and ready for the battle. Back up to you, Will.
Well, thank you very much, Lauren. Certainly that is a valid statement. He's cut his reputation on being a defensive guru, and as you mentioned, he proved that in all capital letters with that victory over Folsom High 2 seasons ago when they snapped that long winning streak. As you see there, the host Dragons in their customary purple. Lots of grape out there tonight. And the series history between these two is short, but very spicy. And Lauren Goodman has more on the series history.
Series history just being the third meeting for both of these two teams. They are high-packed in scoring. Scoring is the difference maker in these two games. In the first matchup in 2016, the Tigers almost lost a 20-point lead with a valiant Tigers comeback. And then in 2014, the Wing T was in full force for the Tigers as they scored 7 touchdowns in a 51-34 victory over the Dragons. Hope tonight will be a lot of scoring. Back to you, Will.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren. Both of these teams score big, as you just alluded to those previous scores, and though Sac High has not quite found its offense, that's not the case for Terry Stark's Tigers. They have rolled it up. We're going to step away for just a short break, and when we return, we're going to check out our starting lineups and brace for the opening kickoff in tonight's big game.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Jasmine Moss, an outstanding rendition of our Star-Spangled Banner. And we're just about ready to commence the action here tonight. And at this point in time, without our captains yet on the field, I know, Jim, you've examined the criteria for these two clubs, and there's always important keys tonight in the Oak section.
Yes, let's start out with Tiger Paws. Their front seven is, according to Coach Stark, one of the best they've had, and defensive coordinator Bert Salinas very high on them. Great pressure on those Sac quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, inexperienced. Wing T deception, I tell you, you're going to have to find the football. Who has it? Fresh legs, a core of running backs for the Inderkum Tigers. And then Dragon offense, are they going to come out tonight? Are they going to open it up? Are they going to score more than 2 touchdowns a game? That's the question, and we'll find out shortly.
Yes, we will. Well, both clubs are represented by captains that have been designated by the coaching staff, entrusted with that special distinction, and showing the example on the field. Raymond Brown and Brandon Knott will serve as leaders in that regard for the visiting Inderkum Tigers. And for host Sacramento, Willis, Taylor, Michael Williams, Felton, and Gay. Quintet of co-captains that will be representing the Sac High Dragons as we see them nearing midfield. Co-captains merging at the midfield stripe. And tonight's game will be monitored by a crew from the NCOA, and they're going to have to keep up with a fast pace, led by referee John Wallace. He's working tonight with umpire Michael Weaver, the head linesman Jeff Van Horn, Harold Davis, our line judge, and Bruce Grinninger will serve as the back judge tonight. As far as the present weather conditions are concerned, I would say this is nearly ideal at this point in time on the final day of August. The heat factor has been neutralized with the setting sun, and the entire field is now covered in shadow, making it easy on the players participating in tonight's game. And the crosswind that we had noticed earlier that was significant is now tapered way off. The flags at the scoreboard end of Hughes Stadium just slightly rippling, hanging more than rippling. So just about ideal conditions here for these two ball clubs. So they've enacted the coin toss. Inderkum in their visiting white jerseys, navy blue trousers trimmed in gold, and the host Dragons black uniforms and just a touch of that traditional purple grape for the numerals and headgear.
There you see one of their injured players for Sacramento High School. Outstanding lineman, 3-year lineman Taylor, wheeled out, had a very serious injury last week, and hopefully they'll get him back before the season's out, Will.
Well, he's certainly going to be missed and badly needed by this club, and can't say enough about that two-way standout. And Simon Taylor will have better days ahead, but still an inspirational force up along that Dragon sideline. So Sacramento High School will be kicking off from our right to our left. Deep to receive for the Tigers, Wilshawn Rushton Grisby and Javi Daniels. And set to do the booting, Carlton Manjo for the Dragons. We are ready, and here's our opening kickoff. It's going to come down short, backing up and taking it near the 6. Daniels to the near side, cannot get outside. Tremendous downfield pursuit by special team there, and they've got Inderkum pinned deep. Let's take a look at that Tiger offense, a vaunted, high-powered, high-octane offense under Terry Stark. J.J. Ray calling signals, and he's got the full house backfield there. Aspero, Williams, and Brown. Brown, the TD leader. Daniels and Ward make up the other receivers. The O-line is a good one, and they've punched a lot of holes against the opposition. Pacelli, Coughlin, Gillespie, Contreras, and big-time Brandon Nutt. So the football started. It's a 1st and 10 from the 10. Off tackle right, not much doing there on the initial carry of the ball game taken by Johnny Williams. And we'll take a look at that Dragon defensive alignment. Sanchez, Allen, Drayton, and Richardson, that front 4. Then the trio of backers, and that's a good trio too. Smith, Sherman Gay, and Amani Brewer. And the 4 deep secondary. Impact players dominating that: Williams, Drayton, Felton, and D. Stevenson. Ball hawking. 2nd and 8 after the gain of 2. Short yardage blast, shoved back after gaining maybe a yard. So far so good for a stingy Dragon defense.
Well,
no gain.
No gain. Here they are in the 3rd and long. Excellent job on the first 2 downs by the Sac D.
Up the middle, nice hold and a cut back and across the 20, and it looks like very, very close to a first down, and they're going to move the chains. No measurement needed, so a clutch 3rd down carry.
Well, Aaron Aspero, number 2, who's having a great year, averaging 6.9 per carry. Move the chains, Will. Nice hole and good yardage after contact.
Needed 8, gain of 9. 1st and 10, clock rolling early first. Nice to have you with us here for Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. And Joe McCray is really going to have his vaunted defense step it up. Left side running, nice line push across the 25 to about the 28. So a nice bite on first down out of that wing tee.
Once again, fullback Johnny Williams with great yards after contact. I'll tell you, he picks up about 8.
They give him 7, make it 2nd and 3, football parked across the 25 at the 28-yard line. Now that play stymied, but a good second effort fight and progress out to the 31-yard line. So it's going to bring up another 3rd and short this time. The Tigers able to wriggle off the hook and get a 9-yard burst out of Aspero to pick up the first down. Now they need far less. Looks like less than a yard here. 3rd and 1 at the 28. Big hole. First down Tigers. They carry right up the gut, right between the hash marks. And as before, Williams getting the majority of the carries.
Well, in this wing tee offense, a fullback does get a lot of carries. John Williams having a good year coming into tonight, had 4 touchdowns, and when they need a first down, they use them.
Well, Williams has been the workhorse. Rolling, JJ, Ray keeps, crosses the 40 and chased out of bounds by 2 Dragons. I'll give him a yard or so on that, maybe a couple to the 41. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. We're early on here in the first, and we're getting closer to a full dusk in the area.
Here's Ray on a keeper, a fake inside, and keeps it rolling out and runs out of field, out of bounds, only picks up a couple here.
He was chased out of there by Stevenson, and good coverage in the secondary because he was looking to throw. And whistles are going to kill this play as a marker flies. Again, our game referee this evening, John Wallace. Timeout taken by the Tigers. We'll be right back. Don't wander off. Lots more to come on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Well, a little sputtering here on this Tiger possession after they march to the midfield area. They throw deep down the field. That's wiped out by a penalty. So the Tigers in reverse right now. And they're going to move them back and spot the football.
On the offense, 15 yards, repeat, second down.
Major penalty called by John Wallace. It's going to cost the Tigers 15. So here's the play that the penalty occurred on. They tried to go deep. Ray, a pretty nice throw, a little too much lead, but the penalty overrides everything. So here we are. Left side running, lots of daylight. Aspero shucks one man, steps away from another, and crosses midfield for a big Tiger first down to the Dragon 49. Misdirection.
Oh, that's that famous counter back the other way with Aspero going against the grain for a huge hole and then great yards after contact. Watch the inside fake and a handoff back from that wing back counter position. Aspero going down the field, missed tackles occurring, and watch the yards after contact.
So the Tigers wriggle off the hook after the penalties and get the big play to the Dragon 49. First down Tigers. Turn and give. That play is bottled up and shut down beautifully on that play. Nice job. Presley had nowhere to go and got dropped. So they lose a yard on the play. Another look at this defensive stand.
Great penetration by the Dragon defense here, forcing Bradley to lose a yard. Outstanding work by Jordan, number 32.
Second 11, J.J. Ray has time as he rolls left, straightens up and fires. Got a man out there. It looks like a leaping grab, and it is. And the same player, Savion Presley, who got dropped for the loss, is on the receiving end of a long aerial from Ray.
Well, give credit. Watch the quarterback here. Despite the rush, watch J.J. Ray rolling out, flushing the pocket, and spots Presley down the field, and Presley makes a great over-the-head catch.
It's a 1st and 10 at the Sac 17-yard line on the big play. We're nearing midway first. Tigers pounding on the door. That did not fool the Dragon defense. And Johnny Williams got greeted on that one. Another look.
There's John Williams, great penetration, outstanding work by the defense. 25, outstanding work.
Gay has been a stalwart in that linebacking core and has a couple of pass interceptions this year already. Run left, string it out, no cutback, and tremendous individual effort there. That was a determined run. And we're seeing more and more action. That was Raymond Brown on that carry. So again, Terry Stark featuring lots of backs.
There's Brown, Ray Brown in motion. Watch him using his blockers downfield, getting down to about the 3-yard line.
Here we go, inside blast. Touchdown Tigers. Well, they pushed it down the field, and 3 times overcame penalty scenarios. Here's John Wallace with a report.
On the offense, we're going to go back 5 yards, repeat first down.
So the Tigers put another hole in their foot, in their paw. 3rd penalty assessed against Inderkum here in the first quarter. It wipes out a TD. Football at the 7.
Well, Coach Stark sending in a bunch of subs in here, 2, 3, 4 replacements now. He packed what we call package subs a lot. Situation, down and distance, he'll package sub.
A blast inside the 5. Again, they go to Ray Brown. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from the 4.
Oh. Halfback Brown got a little of that yardage back. They got 3 downs to go 5 yards, Will, and they got the backs to do it, and the front line that'll block.
Anthony Douglas into the ball game for the Tigers. Left side running, easy money, Raymond Brown, touchdown Tigers. From 4 yards out, and terrific blocking on that play. Nobody really even took a shot at him.
Well, he bounced it out. The off-tackle hole was not quite there, and he bounced it out. Ray Brown, they're going to, I think this year, before it's over, they're going to call him Touchdown Brown because he's going to score a lot this year.
That would not surprise me. On for the PAT. It's booted, and it's a bullseye for Jose Lopez. Let's take a look at the score.
In motion, Brown looks inside, bounces it outside, and scores.
Inderkum on the board first. We'll be right back for more of the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Inderkum strikes first here in tonight's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. A 7-0 lead over host Sacramento. The Tigers set to kick off. And Lopez boots it, but it's well short. One bounce. And the run back. It's Drayton trying to find a shred of daylight. And a gang tackle is going to shut this down near the 15. So below average field position upcoming. And there you see number 4, one of the big time playmakers on Sacramento and around the area. Devon Drayton, punt returner, kick returner, defensive back, and slot receiver type. So the Dragons start from their 17. Marcus Taylor was scheduled to be the starting QB, but I see Isaiah Stevenson, 14, in that Dragon backfield. One of 3 quarterbacks on Coach McRae's roster. Surprise, surprise. Stevenson gives Felton a zigzag move, short yardage, but a nice burst to the 19, and we'll take a look at that sack-high offense. Taylor scheduled, but Stevenson instead at the moment. Felton, one of the top running backs around. Williams, their top receiver, and Drayton we spoke of. Ramos and Willis, the other wides in their 4-wide alignment, and the front line anchored by Allen. Nice little opening off the left side and a dash to the 24. Sac High trying to establish its ground game. And their offense has sputtered for the first 2 starts, and a major rash of injuries, partly responsible. 3rd and about 5, nothing doing. Okay, the Tiger defense, they are going to try to continue limiting Sacramento's offense, and it looks like punt formation upcoming here on 4th and about 3, and we'll set that Tiger defense next time around. Meantime, punt formation, and a good punter here. I'll tell you, D. Stevenson is averaging 43 yards a punt, has a long of 55, and he's put 3 inside the 20 in those first 2 starts. Single returner, high snap, bobbled. Stevenson trying to get away from the rush. Nice stop and go move. Breaks free, gets a block, hurdles a man. Oh my goodness, he's at midfield and into Tiger territory at the Inderkum 42. What an effort on a busted play. So that sets up Sacramento beautifully after their initial possession stalled out.
What an effort by D. Stevenson. First, wow. Amazing he came out of this. My goodness, 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles. Watch the moves.
That cut right there was the one, and then the hurdle.
Hurdle going down the sideline.
Magnificent. 1st and 10 Dragons at the Tiger 42. Turn and give. Felton breaks a tackle inside the 40 and drags a defender inside the 35. About a yard shy of a first. Let's take a look at that Tiger defense. The down 3, Knock Gillespie and Devin Williams. They play 4 backers led by Logan Benoit and Ward, also the tight end, and 4 deep in the secondary. Speed to burn, Sapp, Mills, Espero, and Presley.
Well, the Dragons showing some life here, Will. Felton gaining some yards off tackle. Stevenson, the surprise starter. You can see, wow, he's a Wildcat quarterback.
He's tall and rangy, and he's going to go for the big 6 down the sideline. Lots of contact, and a flag flies. The contact at about the 5-yard line. There was some double coverage out there, but only one of the Tiger defenders involved in that collision. And Drayton, the deep receiver, drawing that extra attention. You see our game referee, John Wallace, in the white cap. And I see a penalty marker also at the 35-yard line across the field. So let's take a look. Here's the deep throw from Stevenson.
Down the field. Excellent, excellent camera work on that.
Illegal motion on the offense, pass interference on the defense. The penalties are offset. We'll replay the down. Number 8.
Okay, John Wallace clarifies nicely. Both clubs make a mistake, however, they wash out. And 2nd and 2, still the down and distance from the 34 of Inderkum.
A great break for the Tigers. They could have been in trouble with that interference call. And now D. Stevenson running this offense. Very, very promising. Good looking for his first start.
Direct snap, turn and give. Felton sheds 1 tackler and makes the 31. Gain of 3. Minute 35, late first. Inderkum on top here by a score of 7-0, but the Dragons on the move. First down play. A blast up the middle goes virtually nowhere. That was stuffed. Tough D on that play. Gain of 1. A long one. It's going to bring up a 2nd and long. Call it 2nd and 9 from the Inderkum 30. And a minute to go here in the first. Clock rolling. Double wide receivers to the top. Fake the handoff, and Stevenson is sacked for about an 8-yard loss. 3 of the Tigers were there, including Isaiah Ward, and also in on that pass pressure, impressively, 2 other Tigers. the play fake did not freeze the backers.
Here comes Ward and a host of others. Cedric Ward, outstanding player, tight end, outside backer being recruited by a number of colleges on the West Coast. Stevenson, 14, looks ideal. He's a big, strong quarterback here now, running like a halfback. He can punt, and he can throw, and we saw that he can run.
The end of quarter number 1. And at the end of 1, Inderkum on top 7-0 in Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Okay, we open quarter number 2. Let's check in with Lauren Goodman.
Well, I'm here with Christina Smith, site lead at Sac High. How are you doing in your first year?
Great. It's really great to be with the St. Hope community still.
Are you enjoying the start to the year? I know you guys started a little bit ahead of everybody, couple of weeks. How has that helped your student athletes?
Yeah, so our student athletes are going into week 5, and so they are hard at work in the classroom and also on the field.
Awesome. So you bring so much energy as a site lead. Is that same as a principal role for Sac High?
Yeah, so the site lead is very similar to a principal role. I'm mainly over 10 through 12, but I also get to work with the other school leaders to make sure that we're aligned across the network.
Now, I know Sac High and St. Hope is always doing unique things to help their student athletes and their academics. How is that adjustment and change going to benefit your students?
So it means that I have a more direct connection with our 10th through 12th graders, and it means that I get to keep a closer eye on those students.
Well, that's so awesome. I'm so thankful for what you do at Sac High. That's all from the field. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Lauren. The incomplete pass down the sideline brings us up to a 4th down and long. Quick pooch punt. Nicely done. There'll be no return on this as it's downed inside the 10 at about the 9. So Inderkum holds, but will inherit shaky field position here early in the second quarter.
Quite an advantage when you have a triple threat guy at the Wildcat offense they're running right now. A bit of read option, and he's ideal for it because he's got an arm, he runs well. He can punt, as we can see. He can quick punt as well. And so we got quite an athlete there in junior D. Stevenson, number 14.
On the kicking team, we're going to go 5 yards from the end of the kick. To be first down.
A penalty is going to enhance Inderkum's field position. The Tigers will inherit a first down scenario, but well beyond where they would have been pinned at the 9-yard line. So a costly penalty. Well, they park it at the 14. So the Tigers break huddle, leading it here 7-0. This Dragons defense is very stingy. They've been stung by a couple of big 3rd down conversion plays. Other than that, they have stacked up this wing tee thus far without being burnt for a long score.
Well, they have on 1st and 2nd down. They've given up that 3rd down conversion, Will.
On the 2nd and 8 play, again, the Dragon defense showing up big time. And there's your D. Stevenson, number 3, who had that scintillating busted play run out of punt formation earlier in the game. 3rd and 12 from the 7. An outstanding opportunity for the Dragons if they can get a stop here. Ray buys some time, fires to a wide open receiver out here on the left flat. Easy first down and a whole lot more. I believe Johnny Williams, and he was undefended on that. That was a missed assignment, I would say. So Williams with the reception, just his 2nd of the year, but it pays off big.
Okay, you see quarterback Ray rolling out. He finds fullback Williams all alone, and Williams, yards after contact, moves the chains. First down, Tigers.
Gain of 20 plus. They're on the move. Ray to his right this time. Fires on the run. Incomplete. He had a deep receiver out there. One-on-one coverage. The ball faded a little bit and drifted wide toward the sideline. Second and 10.
They try to go deep to receiver Daniels. Jave Daniels is dangerous. Good coverage by that Dragon D, as you see. Number 6 back there. Look.
Michael Williams, their top receiver and excellent cover guy. So the Tigers will try it again. Second and 10 from the Inderkum 33. Little misdirection razzle and wide open running down the right sideline. That was another big play. The Tigers seem to have the knack for getting off the hook when they need it the most, and Aspero with the big carry.
Well, once again, that's what the wing tee does. It freezes you. A lot of defenders put their head on a swivel, Will, and they can't find the football. You have a look at this. You'll see the defense faked out.
Wide open with the blocker out in front. Nice cutbacks and big time yardage after the first contact. So they press into sack territory from the Dragon 47. Off tackle right. They punch it inside the 45. Gain of about 3. So Tigers on the move. Unpredictable in that wing T offense. And the deception is very effective.
Well, they've been running it for years, and Coach Stark is the master of that wing T office. He and Dave Humphers are probably 2 of the best.
From the sack 44, 2nd and 7. Ray rushed, fires, picked off. Ill-advised throw. And the pass interception is going to shut down that drive.
Yeah.
So again, the Joe McCray constructed defense comes through big. Williams, we just got done talking about him, Coach.
Well, he is. He's a very gifted athlete and good defensive back. You saw him in the coverage there. And in the right place at the right time, Michael Williams, number 8. Now, ill-advised is right. Well, he certainly threw right into coverage.
Certainly J.J. Ray would like to have that one back.
He certainly would. When there's nowhere to run, throw the ball out of bounds and save the down.
So the Dragons open shop, 1st and 10 from the sack 29. Nothing doing. The Tiger defense read that like a book, and looks like it's going to be a bit of a loss. So Isaiah Stevenson, the surprise starter and still in at quarterback for the Dragons. Halfway to the sidelines to get a play. And they call it no gain. We'll make it 2nd and 10. Double wide left and right. Good protection this time. Stevenson tucks it. And a shovel pass nearly picked. And let's see if he did get his arms underneath it. That's going to be an interception and a turnover on an emergency flip. And we can see Stevenson upset with that decision making.
Not a wise decision. There you see Stevenson suddenly decides he shuffles it off right in the hands.
Johnny Babe. Johnny Williams making an impression.
Definitely.
Ray back to work, guns a strikeout to the right side. And nearly enough for a first down. Boy, these receivers tough to bring down. And I'm very impressed there with Ray Brown after that catch.
Well, Ray Brown's had a great start this year. This is his third ball game. He can do it all. He's great out of the backfield. He runs tough, a decent blocker. Coach Stark talked very, very highly of him.
2nd and 1 after the gain of 9. First down easy, and interior line blocking very effective on that play.
Absolutely correct. Contreras and Knott pushed their defenders a good 4 or 5 yards off the football. Excellent drive, Gillespie, Contreras, and Knott.
They move the stakes again. It's another Tiger first down. The ball parked at the Dragon 21. Whistles are going to bust this play. Unusual sequence there with back-to-back turnovers on ill-advised throws and pass interceptions. Now the timeout taken by the Dragons. The defense going to get a break here because they need to slam the door, and we'll be right back in a quick 30 and more of the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for?
Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers.
Feed the pig.
Tigers on the move here in the second quarter, and a big gainer. Well, they didn't get it all, but they almost busted that one. And Johnny Williams has been center stage on a number of plays already, including that one.
Well, right now they're running those traps inside with the fullback, and I'll tell you, it's wide open. Guards are doing a great job. Coughlin, Gillespie, Contreras, Knott, and Pacelli and Diaz, I'll tell you, they are moving the Dragons off the ball.
They're at the Sacramento 7. 1st and goal. Turn and give to the outside. A bounce and a burst and a dive at the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers. An outstanding effort right there. And I'll tell you, Johnny Williams is continuing the red-hot pace he had of 4 touchdowns coming into this game.
Well, Johnny Williams and Ray and Watson, they are deep in running backs. Sparrow, Daniels, Presley.
The PAT blocked. And that is nothing new. Let's take a spin here. Here's the touchdown carry.
Watch Williams bounce it outside. Nobody's there, and stretches that ball in the end zone.
We'll come right back for the Inderkum kickoff. Stay with us.
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Well, the Tigers back on the board. It'll be Brandon Berger to do the kicking here. And a 13-0 Inderkum lead. Short kickoff, taken outside the 10 and to the near side. A cutback and a shutdown. Drayton with the return and a bit above average field position, but a marker dropped near the 25-yard line.
Let's see if they continue running that Wildcat offense with Stevenson at the helm. I'm sure they will. Although it looks like a new quarterback coming in there, possibly Jackson.
Holding during the return. 10 yards from the spot of the hole. It'll be first down this way.
Well, the Dragons get burnt for a holding penalty on the kickoff return. It's going to cost them 10 from the spot of the foul, so they're going to open at their own 11-yard line with a first down.
And they're going with the young junior, Quantrell Jackson. Looks like he's in the football game, Will.
Well, he has had the majority of the playing time and figures to be the guy. Nice cutback and jitterbug move. Hard to bring down right there. Drayton, a smallish back, but plenty of power, and the moves were there to shake him loose.
Excellent 9-yard carry, Will. Excellent job. I like the moves he made.
So he makes the Dragon 20, 2nd and 1, and here's how he did that.
You see that handoff to Drayton? Bounces off one, cuts against the grain, and carries a couple of tacklers, despite his size, for an additional 3 or 4 yards, Will.
Number 20, linebacker Daryl Mosley had a clean shot at him and couldn't bring him down. And there's a hard shot and a loose football, I believe. So it's out of bounds. The Dragons will keep it, and they got a break there, not just for the recovery, but they picked up extra yardage on that. Somehow the ball was kicked forward. Let's take a look at that one.
You see the handoff. Here's the loose ball.
It was a hard shot delivered on Drayton there, and he coughed it up. But again, Dragons fortunate.
You saw an inadvertent kick by a Dragon to knock the ball out of bounds.
From the Sac 33, fresh set of downs for the Dragons. Triple wide receivers to the left, but they run the football. Drayton again, spun around and dropped.
Well, that's very impressive play by 56. Outstanding defense by Brandon Knott, the all-league defensive tackle, was in the backfield.
They somehow get a 1-yard pickup out of that. We'll call it 2nd and 9. Football in between the Sac 33 and 34, and they're going to need to make something happen here on 2nd down if they want to avoid 3rd and long. Again, triple wide receivers left. Hard pass rush, a throw incomplete. Heavy pressure that time.
Well, they are from the backside. Somebody's going to have to block Isaiah Ward because he comes hard from that backside, and he looked virtually untouched.
3rd and 9, just what the Dragons did not want. And we'll see if there's extra pass pressure applied on this down. Same formation, looks like. Jackson looks right, telegraphs it all the way, and Drayton makes a heck of a catch, but really to no avail as he's gang tackled for no gain, basically.
Well, he did. He gave away that screen all the way, Will. He looked right at the screen man, and the defenders weren't faked out one bit.
Here we'll have another look.
There you see him back. Clutch him, look to the screen, trying to screen the 4, who is well covered. Very, very dangerous play, really.
And that was a miraculous catch there by Drayton, pinning that ball on his left shoulder and helmet and cradling it with his left hand. But tough Tiger D makes it irrelevant, and punt formation shown by the Dragons here on 4th and 14. Low snap. Stevenson the boot. It bounces once, takes a high hop, and taken on the run and drilled hard on a risky return effort there. The Dragons were ready for that, and they saw it coming.
Jave Daniels, a very dangerous move by fielding that punt. I'm sure Coach Stark got a little grayer on that one, where at the last second he decides to field the punt, and it's wondered that they didn't turn over the football. Now look for Inderkum here with 4 minutes on the clock, once again to go on one of those long Tiger drives where they hold the ball on you 4 or 5 minutes. They're in no hurry to score. They will use this clock.
And we'll see if the Sac defense prevents that. Under 4 minutes now. Turn and give, right side running. Turn the corner. And just as you had spoke of him, Coach, Daniels on the end around, but we got a penalty marker down near the 40. Nice defensive play laterally along that line of scrimmage turned in by Kyron Smith. And we'll see about the penalty from referee John Wallace.
Well, once again, that Dragon defense is, since Inderkum has ruled the time of possession here tonight thus far, and that's what they usually do, and they can tire defenses out. Believe me, when they run sideline to sideline with that speed and run in 4 or 5 backs while you're playing with your same defenders, you watch how some of the defensive teams get a little tired defending against the Tigers.
Okay, here's our call from game referee John Wallace. Well, evidently, I'm sure we'll get the official call here.
Well,
illegal block.
Apparently a cut blocked by the defense or a cut tackle.
So clarification asked for by Sac High head coach Joe McCray. So game referee John Wallace to the sideline area of the Sac, and we can see them right there. Terry Stark to the left, and Coach McCray in the white windbreaker there, getting a clarification from our game referee. So it's a first down for the Tigers. Football at the 36-yard line. Big hole. Boom. Good open field tackle there, but a big gainer.
They run that inside counter play, and you've got to defend it.
Well, Presley, who hasn't seen as much action as Brown or Williams, making his presence known. Here's how.
Watch Presley go back inside with that counter. A big hole there, and the big back Presley picks it up about 12, 14-yard first down.
First and 10 from the Dragon 21. Gain of 15 on the play. Ray keeps, looks, and fires over the middle. Intercepted and down in the end zone. The second pick from the Sacramento High Dragons secondary. And Drayton with the great hands on a number of plays, both offensively and defensively.
Again, that's a great play by Drayton. Look at that. Just amazing. What a year.
A year ago, just as a sophomore, he accumulated 10 touchdowns, 8 of them while not on offense, so to speak, from scrimmage. A threat on any single play, and it's the second pick of the night for the Dragons.
Well, he truly is a double D, as you mentioned. Devon Drayton.
So they dodge another bullet, and J.J. Ray picked for the second time. 1st and 10 from the Dragon 20. Jackson calling the shots at quarterback. Guns one over the middle. Wide open. Drayton on the run. Cut back and through traffic makes the 37 or 38 first down Dragons. The more touches he gets, the more effective their overall offense is going to be, and it's going to take a big load off Felton. Football parked at the 38, 18-yard pickup. Setting up to pass, thrown well over the head of the intended receiver that time, and there was no chance even to make an attempt on that.
Well, I am impressed with the arm of Jackson. Quantrell Jackson, number 2, a big guy, 6'4", got the big time arm. Now, that time they only rushed 3. They're back in a 4-man front, and they possibly going to put some heat on them. 4 or 5 coming tough at Jackson now.
They run the football and a loose football, I believe, and it looks like it could be another Inderkum fumble recovery on the carry by Drayton. So let's see now. We got a little bit of an officials conference here. Was he down? Was the runner down? No speculation from this end. We're at the 2:27, late second. Here's another look.
Here's a handoff to Drayton. There goes the ball. Looks like the ball left his hands before he went down.
It does indeed. A little loose carriage out there to the side, and somebody stripped it.
Well,
Sapp, I believe.
Looked like he never really had full control of the ball.
So the ball goes over. Fumble. And two turnovers each. Here's a different angle on that last play.
You see Drayton here now. There goes the ball. Nice shot. Beautiful coverage on that fumble.
1st and 10. Correction. Sack holds on to the football. They rule no fumble, and they try to run right with Drayton, and it gets shut down on a 3rd down play. I have no explanation, Coach.
Well, they don't have the benefits of replay. It was very obvious.
So Drayton having lots of adventure here in the first half. But a multi-talented football player for the Sac Dragons. Okay, we have a clarification, evidently an inadvertent whistle coming into play to influence that decision. Here's the punt. A wobbler. They fake the fair catch. It's out of bounds. Penalty marker dropped at the 1:28 mark. Want to remind you that our Lauren Goodman will be visiting with our 2 head coaches during the halftime intermission, Terry Stark of Inderkum, Joe McCray of Sac High, and various and sundry other special guests. So we'll see about the penalty, but it's a 13-0 Tiger lead. Both clubs have committed 2 turnovers.
Well, Ray, to have 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions on really, the first one was a very poor decision.
We're going to go back 10 yards and replay the first down.
John Wallace giving the official call. So
that's amazing because he said replay the down. They haven't had a down.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty. Be 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 25-yard.
So the punt though somewhat average, they get extra yardage on the penalty with 1:28 left in the half. And the football parked at the Inderkum 25. Quick opener and a gang tackle play, but a nice bite of about 7 yards to the 32 or 33.
Once again, Johnny Williams carrying the load tonight. Carrying the load, running inside the tackles, running with great blocking up front with Gillespie, Coughlin, Contreras doing the job for them. Johnny Williams carrying the load.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2 from the 33. A misdirection and a broken tackle and tough hard running and a spin around nearly makes the 40-yard line.
Well, there's
another penalty. We won't speculate on that, and we'll see if the Raymond Brown run will stand.
Well, as we look at this play here, there's a fake to Williams and then an inside handoff to Ray Brown. And to me, it looked like a necktie tackle there prior to all that.
Well, it was a necktie job, but he ran right through Garrett Richardson.
Ball, unsportsmanlike, 15 yards from the end of the run, and it'll be a first down here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the Tigers.
Well, I'm confused on that call. They're marking it off against the Tigers. That's their 5th penalty.
It certainly has, and I'm looking for mechanics here.
Well, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. With the football at the 24 of Inderkum. And less than a minute remaining in the half. 13-0 Inderkum. Under center this time. Turn and give. Right side running. Excellent blocking. And Espero has a nice little gain there. Shy of a first as the clock rolls with just 25 seconds left here in the first half.
I think Coach Stark is content. He'll punt the football now with the clock running down and run this out. I knew he wasn't going to throw the football. After Ray throwing 2 picks in the second quarter, he wasn't about to run the football.
Well, no punt formation here. Up the gut. First down yardage out to the Inderkum 37 or so, and a brief stoppage of 2 seconds to move the chains. And I guess that will enable Inderkum to get off one more play. Okay, so they restart the clock, and we have completed the first half of play. And before we check in with Lauren Goodman, it must be said, Jim, that both teams sputtered based on the number of penalties and the situations they occurred in that busted drives.
Definitely, those were drive busters, no question. And Inderkum is not known for their passing game, but Ray throwing 2 in one game and perhaps throwing 2.5 has maybe convinced Coach Stark just to keep the ball on the ground for a while and not throw the football. Not because Ray isn't capable, not because he doesn't have the receivers, but he's content with those 4 or 5 running backs. He can use the clock on you, run that run game.
Well, a reluctant Terry Stark is showing reservations and now crossing the field with Lauren Goodman, so we will have a word, I suppose, with the Tigers leader. But a fallen dragon down here near between the 40 and 45, and we can get an update on that later. Okay, Lauren Goodman.
Here with Coach Terry Stark for Inderkum. Slow first half, 2 big picks. Coach, what do you see on the offensive side that you want to fix right now?
Well, we need to correct our, they're slanting really hard, and we're not picking up their slant, and it's affecting our double teams right now. So we've got to come off and pick up their linebackers. And, besides that, we're moving the ball okay. A couple penalties have hurt us. And that interception down there, that guy made a good play. Their backside corner, we didn't see him. We threw the post, and he jumped it. Besides that, we're okay.
What's your point of emphasis going into the second half and making adjustments?
Move our feet more, make our double team solid, get our eyes up, and get to the second level on the linebackers.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Back up to you, Will.
Thank you, Lauren. Yes, I would say to summarize that would be alertness. And we are going to go to break now. Don't wander off. 13-0 Inderkum at the half. Much more to come.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Funny! Sorry, I almost killed you. We've all been misunderstood. You're not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Sac High 13-0 right now, and I'm here with Sacramento High School Athletic Director Greg Norris. Greg, how's tonight going for you?
Slow start right now, down 13-0, but we have confidence in the Dragons that we'll come back and make it a competitive second half.
Now, Sac High's been in school for 5 weeks now. What's athletics looking like for you in the fall?
You know, we've had a tough, first two games, really close with the football team. Girls golf, which I coach, we just had a really good match last week. Volleyball's been working really hard, so it's really promising. It's been a really fun start to the fall, and we're looking forward to moving forward.
Greg, you've been there for 8 years now, head athletic director. What do you see for the future of the athletic program, and how is it growing?
Yeah, I think we're, making strides and moving in the right direction. I've actually been at St. Hope now for 11 years. All with Sac High, so our kids are great, our faculty's great. We're just excited to keep moving forward and getting better.
Thank you so much, Greg. Inderkum and Sac High 13-0. We'll be back from the break.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less. and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
I'm Sac High 13-0. Now I'm here with St. Hope CEO Jake Bassar. How are you the CEO? Most people see it as a business. What does that look like for a charter school?
Yeah, so actually St. Hope is a family of nonprofit organizations in Oak Park, and our goal is to revitalize Oak Park through both public education and economic development. So we operate St. Hope Public Schools, which is Sac High, Oak Park Prep, and PS7 Middle and Elementary. And then we also have a handful of real estate projects in Oak Park. You might be familiar with where Old Soul is, the Guild Theater. We have a cool new mural out there. So I operate both. My job is to kind of be the conductor. I don't really play an instrument in those roles. I don't necessarily teach. I don't necessarily do the real estate myself, but I just try to make the music with all those pieces come together. So,
kind of the head of the show and the framework of what St. Hope does. How important is community outreach and the look for St. Hope going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we've been in Oak Park for now 30 years, and so obviously there's been a lot of changes in Oak Park, some good, some not as good, but our job is to be embedded right in the community. I live in the heart of Oak Park. A lot of our staff lives right in the heart of Oak Park, and our goal is to be out there every day to improve the neighborhood, to make sure that students got a safe, great quality environment to learn in, and that our residents have some really good opportunities to engage in some cultural aspects of the neighborhood as well.
There's always something special going on at St. Hope. How is that culture going to intensify and grow as you being the CEO?
Well, I think it's not just even about me being the CEO. I think it's just about the world that we're in. I think it becomes more and more competitive each year for students coming to college. You're talking about global competition now, and so we want to make sure that our students are as prepared as possible to be able to compete at the next level. And so we're always going to up the game and set the expectations high.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. Again, 13-0 from Inderkum and Sac. We'll be right back with you. Thank you.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. You've all been misunderstood. I'm not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We're at spacious Hughes Stadium this evening for Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week with Jim Domino. I'm Will James, and at present 13-0 visiting Inderkum on top of host Sacramento High School. And as we do each week, Coach Domino, your weekly rankings. So time now for Domino's Dozen.
So here we go. Folsom number 1, as expected, with a huge win over Jesuit last week, and we did that ball game. And they're ahead tonight at playing Antelope 41-0. Oak Ridge number 2, Inderkum, you're seeing them tonight. Very impressive. Number 3, Placer, Joey Montoya at the helm, doing well, undefeated. Monterey on the TJ Ewing doing well. Del Oro undefeated. Cap Christian off to a great start. Elk Grove 1-1. River Valley 2-0. Jesuit at number 10 off a tough defeat last night, and now losing to Granite Bay this afternoon. Christian Brothers and Grant rounding out the top 12. In the red zone, Lincoln freshman win over Antelope. Bear River, Rockland Center, Ponderosa off to a great start 2-0. Wood Creek off to a great start 2-0, and so is Roseville rounding out our top 20.
That's quite a 20, Coach Domino, and Larry Cunha breaking into the elite group. And there you see our halftime score at Hughes Stadium. And as we know, the Sac Joaquin section has undergone another realignment, and here's how it shakes out and how it affects these two teams. Well, Inderkum has moved from the Tri-County Conference that they dominated for so long, and they now are members of the Capital Valley Conference, and they're going to share that distinction with River Valley, Antelope, Wood Creek, Roseville, Yuba City, and Bella Vista. Right now, River City, Antelope, Wood Creek, and Roseville are all ranked, as you just saw on Domino's Dozen.
While Sacramento departs the Metro, where they've been a dominating team, and joins the Capital Athletic League with such foes: Capital Christian, unbeaten thus far this year, Christian Brothers, Del Campo, Vista del Lago, El Camino, Rio Americana. Quite a change for Sacramento, out of the Metro and into a pretty tough Capital Athletic League, Will.
And in speaking with Sacramento High head coach Joe McCray, he's delighted that they are now members in that league that is a far cry from that previous Metro League competition, and certainly much more appropriate, you might say.
Certainly, that was a 2-team league with Burbank and them, and the winner of that conference going to playoffs automatically. However, when you have a schedule of that type, it doesn't help you when you're in playoff competition against all these good teams. So I can see where Joe McCray is happy making that move, and both those conferences are very tough.
We'll be right back after this short break, and we want you to stay with us here on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Welcome back to Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. We're at the intermission, which is just now concluding, and momentarily we'll join Lauren Goodman. She'll have a field interview, but it's 13-0 Inderkum, a pair of rushing touchdowns accounting for those scores. Raymond Brown from 4 yards out, and Johnny Williams a 7-yard burst. So they haven't really stung Sac with the long gainer for a score, although a couple of good gains have set up those short yardage touchdowns. Let's turn our attention now to Lauren Goodman.
Here with Sac High McCray. Coach, no offense on the board. What are you going to get the offense going here in the second half?
I mean, offensively, we just got to execute. We got a few things that we worked on all week that we didn't do well this first half, so we're going to change it up, come out hopefully looking a little bit different. As long as we execute, we're fine.
Defense has been strong as it has been in the first 2 games, 2 big picks. How do you carry over from the defense to the offense?
I mean, one thing we love to do is hit. So, I mean, we're trying to get that energy, move a couple guys around that's playing defense, move them over to offense, see if we can get a little bit more energy over there as well.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. Back up to you, Will.
Thank you, Lauren. Prophetic words, you might say, and certainly the offense is the bigger focal point now for the Dragons, as you see part of their sideline, and D. Stevenson, who had a remarkable run out of punt formation on a busted play. But the 2 touchdowns, a far cry from what Inderkum had been averaging in the scoring department against both Elk Grove and American Canyon.
Well, this is true. They average 8.6 per carry on their rushing offense going into this game. Unofficially, I don't believe they're doing that tonight. However, they've been handled first and second down, and they've moved the chains on third down over and over again tonight. The deception is working well. They've got good line blocking, and despite 2 picks by quarterback Ray, they've dominated the clock. And there you see Coach Stark.
Terry Stark, one of the quickest ever to accumulate 100 wins. He's well past that now, but in his 13 years at Inderkum, his average season's record is 11-2.
Outstanding, just outstanding.
Opposing coaches, Stark to the left, McCray to the right. Right now, Terry Stark has the upper hand by 13 points. Although Sacramento will be receiving the second half kickoff, and I guess it could be said that it's somewhat crucial that the Dragons make something out of this possession and don't get stalled with a 3-and-out and wind up with poor field position.
Nor can they afford to give up that clock and possession time that seemingly the Tigers dominate. And when you come to the wing tee today, in the old days it was checked with Jerry Kundert or Don Brown. Well, if you're running the wing tee today, you get checked with Dave Humphers, ex-NU, who is at River Valley, or Terry Stark. They're 2 of the authorities on wing tee in this Sacramento area, Will.
And an offensive system that's run by very few squads. And, of course, Terry basically has perfected it there at Inderkum, as witness his records and their scoring punch year after year.
Well, they do, and generally speaking, he has 4, 5, and 6 running backs and play for almost everyone. And they switch off, becoming halfback, wingbacks, or good pass receivers. He has top athletes in those positions, and many of his outstanding running backs play defense as well.
Well, Inderkum set to kick off, and they'll do it with Jose Lopez doing the booting for the Tigers. And the deep kickoff returners, Devon Drayton and Javon Felton. There's Drayton right there. And this is a possession that Sacramento's really going to have to do something with, given that Inderkum can score big, early, and often. So the boot is a line drive directly to the returner. Trying to find an alley and slips a couple tackles and makes the 32-yard line. And Drayton, always a threat, wedges out for some good field position. And Sac will go to work now, and let's see who's going to pull the trigger. Stevenson started at quarterback, and a bit of a surprise, Isaiah Stevenson. And Jackson came on in the second quarter.
Looks like Stevenson back at the helm.
Stevenson at the helm for Sac. There's Drayton, a wide out. Double wides to the left and right. Quick snap. Rushed, flushed. Tries to step away, holding that ball loose. Gets drilled a couple times and somehow holds on. And a gutty scramble to the 37.
Isaiah Stevenson really showed me something on that. But I tell you, he better protect that football. I thought he was going to lose it. There you see Stevenson back to pass, flushes the pocket, had a lot of heat on him, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, and then almost loses it, but does pick up 5.
Second down from the 37. They need 5. He keeps it and almost gets the first. He's across the 40. To the 41. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short. They're going to need a couple here to cash this in. Stevenson, a good size quarterback, and listed at 6'2", 175, just a junior, but he's got a lot of nerve. Those run plays were executed by someone without fear. Third and 2. Big rush. He throws it on the run. Incomplete. Heavy pressure applied as the Tigers blitzed.
Heavy pressure is right. Somewhat surprising with a young quarterback with third and a long one. Very surprising with backs like Felton and Drayton.
Very surprising. Fourth and the same distance. Moment of decision for Coach McCray and the offense. Dragons blanked thus far. Looks like they're going to try to go for it and show a little gamble here. Let's see what happens. Quick count, loose football. Everyone's after it, and Stevenson bobbles, tries to salvage, and we don't know who came up with it, but that is a busted fourth down. Tough luck for the Dragons. Either way you look at it, it's Inderkum football. As we'll take another look.
And there you see the pitch off to, looks like to Drayton, or trying to get it to Drayton or Felton, and the Tigers are all over the play. I mean, to me, the play didn't have a chance, even if he catches the pitch, Will.
Well, the third down call and the fourth down call. So here come the Tigers trying to capitalize. Inside running and a double team tackle, but not before. A gain of about 4 all the way to the 17-yard line.
Once again, Workhorse Williams, I'm going to call him tonight because despite the having many, look at this. Once again, handoff to the fullback, picking up about 5 yards. Not quite 4.5, 5 yards, but that's nothing compared to coming into this contest with an 8.6 yards per carry.
2nd and 5. Tigers in the red zone, right side running. Looks like first down yardage as they blast inside the 10. And right now the Dragons on their heels. Johnny Williams, tough customer and excellent line support.
Well, I can tell you this, that hole was huge. That right side hole was really an alley.
Isn't that a first down?
First and goal on the 9, and
our chain crew a little confused. Motion shown in that backfield. The run play to the right side, a gang tackle near the 5. A lot of bodies involved on that play.
Well, Aspero had some tough yards to go to there. One of the many running backs down to the 5. Like I say, he's got 4 to 5 outstanding running backs who share the load.
So from the 5-yard line, clock rolling, early third at the 8:44. Substitution, double substitution for the Tigers here in this goal line situation. On top 13-0. A straightforward push, touchdown Tigers.
Up the middle, touchdown Tigers.
Well, I believe it getting the call that time. A third rushing touchdown.
Johnny Williams having a big year. I believe he's got 7 on the year, 6 or 7 TDs, and now they're going for 2.
Trying to make up for the block PAT outside. Low tackle. Nope, not enough. And he got in. Excellent effort right there by Ray Brown.
Well, let's have a look at this again. There's a handoff to Brown. Watch the surge. Downfield blocking, offside line, and great power by Brown when he gets inside the 5. I'm impressed with his leg drive and body lean.
We'll be right back for the Inderkum kickoff upon our return. Stay with us.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
The Brandon Berger kickoff out of bounds, so we see the penalty marker dropped, and Sacramento will get some good field position as a result of that. And now the emphasis on not just some offense, but some scoring offense is top priority here, although we're still early in the third. The Dragons are going to have to put something on the board.
Well, they certainly have. They have two big play people in Felton and Drayton. The question is getting the ball in their hands via run or throwing to those people. You've got to get your playmakers involved in this offense. And, of course, it's easy to say, but by going for that third and fourth down plays back in that last series was costly, because now it gave the Tigers a very short field to go in with only needing a 30-yard drive.
Don't know the reason for delay here. I imagine we'll get a clarification as we see Coach Joe McCray out onto the field to speak to our line judge. But John Wallace, our Whitecap, is the one in charge. Well, evidently no explanation, no mechanics. Well, what are we going to do?
Apparently we're going to kick again, but
well, I guess they're leaving it to our imagination. However, this will give Sacramento a chance to do a nice job on their kickoff return and get back into good field position.
well, apparently a 5-yard penalty we're seeing as they're kicking off from the 35. And I'm assuming it was an offside on the kickoff, but I guess we'll make our decision from here.
Well, you saw Drayton, number 4, one of the twin returners. Berger again going to try to put the football in play on this Tiger kickoff. Another line drive, one bounce, fielded by Drayton. 15-20, hit high in the face. And there's a penalty marker come flying out as he crosses the 25. This could work in favor of the Dragons. And it will be necessary for John Wallace to tell us the story. 21-0, Inderkum on top. Their third touchdown, punched in close after a botched fourth down, left the Tigers with great field position.
Foul, face mask. We're going to go 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Okay, well, I guess I can still see him once in a while, the slap in the face, and we'll take another look. Here it comes with the left hand. Drayton, smallish but tough as nails. We've already seen him take about 6 hard shots tonight. Great field position from the Sac 43. Imperative for the Dragons to get on the board. Quick shot right side. Incomplete.
Once again, Drayton took a big hit, but the timing on that route and that throw were not there. Drayton had not fully turned on the comeback route, and he was, the ball was drilled by Stevenson a little ahead of time. I think Stevenson was concerned with that pass rush.
2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Tries to step it up and throw short. looks like a good completion, but only about a 4-yard pickup or so, maybe a bit less than that, as they're across the 45 to the 46.
A big down here coming up, 3rd and approximately 7 yards to go. See quarterback Stevenson rifling one, starting to run, and then hits his receiver right upfield, but not enough.
Isaiah Ward has been putting heat on Sac quarterbacks all night, and that was no exception. Big rush, deep throw right sideline, underthrown, and a comeback grab. Well done, and that is going to be a big first down. Michael Williams and the Dragons, a big play up the field. The underthrown pass, the key on that completion.
Well, there's where an underthrown ball came in handy, as you see Stevenson goes deep, and Michael Williams comes back to the football. Makes a great grab.
28-yard pickup on the play. Up the middle running, breaking a couple of tackles. And, boy, that was excellent determination there. Felton, who we haven't heard about much tonight because they've been keying on him defensively.
Well, there's a big hole by Felton, by that offensive line, and Felton going forward for a good 10, 12 yards.
The stop finally issued by Savian Presley, and another stoppage here and an officials mini conference. No speculation from this end.
Take the numbers down, Aiden.
So John Wallace lots of hand signals. No official explanation. So we're nearing midway third, 6:53 on the clock. This is one of the deepest penetrations thus far by the Dragons. They're just outside the Inderkum 10-yard line. And if they can push one over from here with a 1/4 left, this will tighten things up significantly. Okay, here's our call. All right, well, I guess it was a first down. Double wideouts left and right from the 13-yard line. Fake the give and a pass about 10 yards over Drayton's head, incomplete. Make it 2nd and 10.
On the 14-yard line, they can get a first down on the 4-yard line. And he looked right at that receiver immediately, and he was going to him and drilled him over the head. And I'll tell you, he's got a good, strong arm. Isaiah Stevenson, surprise starter tonight.
Okay, twin wideouts to the left for Sac High. Low snap, he's down to get it. Up the middle running, does not make the 10, gain of a couple. And they're not giving Drayton, I should say, they're not giving Felton much of an opportunity at all. And again, reference to a beat-up offensive line with many injuries, really hurting the Dragons. Let's take a look here.
Have a look. That's Mosley, linebacker Mosley, with a great tackle on Felton.
And there was no room whatsoever. 3rd and 7 from the 11 or so. Bad snap, fumbled, and pass, a lateral pass, and it's tipped out of bounds.
The ball's going to be right there. That's a big loss.
It's a big loss. It could have been a fumble recovery had Felton not tapped it out of there. So we see a sideline discussion, you might say. Here's another look. Low snap right between his legs. Isaiah Ward all over him. The pass was behind a live ball and tapped out of there. So looks like a field goal attempt upcoming. They're going to spot it at the 30, so we'll make it a 40-yarder. Carlton Manjo with Michael Williams, the holder, off the right hash mark. Spotted, blocked on the dead run. Here's a foot race, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And just like that, Inderkum with tremendous penetration on the field goal attempt. Not a good exchange between snapper and holder, just enough to disrupt the play and the block. Then you saw the speed factor.
It looked like JoJo Mills picked it up on the run.
That is a special team touchdown.
JoJo Mills starting at corner, right corner, picking up that block kick.
Well, he had open field in front of him, and another look at that speed merchant.
Here's the block kick. JoJo picking it up on the run, and he can motor.
Okay, on for the point after touchdown. Clean that time, and a bullseye. At 5:32 midway, we'll take one more look at the JoJo Mills sprint after the blocked field goal attempt. And that was for better than half the field right there. No one to catch him. We'll be right back for more of the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
We're ready for the Inderkum kickoff after having scored on a special teams play, an outstanding play. JoJo Mills with a blocked field goal return for the TD. Short kickoff only to the 25-yard line. And a good run back of 10 plus, and it looks like field position out just beyond the 35-yard line for Sac High. And we'll see what the continuing trend is at the quarterback position.
Well, we haven't seen Taylor in yet. Young Marcus Taylor, the senior. Certainly Jackson. We've seen a little bit of Quantrell Jackson, who's been starting quarterback back in the first game versus Rancho Cotati.
So from the Dragon 36, Jackson back in, a strike over the middle, first down yardage on a slant. And a nice concentration there to make the catch. Stevenson with the grab. A rare first down by the Dragons.
Quantrell Jackson at the quarterback spot. As you see Jackson back to pass, he throws a dart right over the middle, very accurately, well thrown with a lot of velocity.
Gain of 11, first and 10 Dragons from the Sac 47. Clock rolling with 4.5 to go here in the third. 4 wideouts, as is customary. Into the line, a broken tackle, breaking loose for a big gain, and finally being tracked down near the 15-yard line Boy, that was an explosive run there after breaking a tackle. And it's again Drayton who has shown the most spark on offense tonight.
He has, and we've got some blocking upfield. It looked like Willis. If we watch Willis here, and Drayton using Willis as a blocker downfield. As you see him shake loose now, there's Willis in front of him. And using his blocker well.
37 yards on the play. There he is again, zigzag move near the goal line, touchdown Dragons, and credit Devon Drayton, number 4, who is showing right now a never say die spirit, one that should be reflective of all the Dragons as their crowd finally comes alive with something to cheer about. Boy, did he look like he had fresh legs on the last 2 plays? My, my.
Very much. We talked about that at halftime, getting Felton and Drayton involved in your offense.
So the Dragons on the board, 28-6 now. There's Mr. Drayton, a junior combo back and combo defender. So we'll see what they want to do on the conversion scenario here, trailing at 28-6. They go for the 2, a pass to the flat, and a hard shot to an exposed player, incomplete. Here's the touchdown. Boy, Drayton, that was excellent, just excellent. And we'll be right back for more of the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Nailed it. Sac High getting on the scoreboard, ready to line up for their kickoff now. Let's see if that rejuvenates the Dragon defensive unit that's really had nothing to motivate them except a goose egg until just now. Left-footed kickoff to the near side, taken near the sideline, and a penalty marker comes out on the tackle, a low shot.
I don't know if the hit was after he went out of bounds.
Gee whiz. Well, there you see John Wallace, our Whitecap, the referee, conferring with his line judge, evidently that threw the flag, which you see lying out there on the field near the 35-yard line. Let's see what we see here. They're going to pick it up.
Disregard the flag.
Okay. I appreciate that, John. Unnecessary. And we'll make a note of that. So Inderkum, 1st and 10. They'll be working from the Tiger 40. Excellent field position on top, 28-6, late 3rd. Turn and give. Nice penetration and a hard shot delivered on Espero.
That was a great play by D. Stevenson.
And a flag flies out late. This game really being disrupted by penalties. And we'll see why.
15.
Well, I heard Mr. Wallace say 15 and point toward Sacramento. Oh, I see.
Sportsmanlike number 33. Give me 30 yards that way. I'm sick of this crap.
Well, we don't often have number identification, but it's clear that our referee, John Wallace, not pleased with the Enrique Sanchez play there. Nevertheless, Sac High after the touchdown and good downfield coverage.
Is gone.
Oh, my word. Well, we've had an ejection. Enrique Sanchez is out of the car. Major walk-off on the major penalty. It comes at 3:43, late third, and compounds the Dragons' problem here significantly.
Enrique Sanchez.
Okay, first down for the Tigers from the Sac 32. Huge hunks of yardage being picked up via penalty in this game. It could be called, in that regard, sloppy. There's been very little rhythm because of these delays and punctuations of determining the call by our officiating crew. Okay. Apparently an adjustment to our game clock. Instead of 3:26, it'll somehow be bumped back up to 4 minutes, an even 4 minutes. I wonder how that was calculated. And Inderkum will try again. Motion in the backfield, but they run it up the middle. Cut back, an additional yardage. First down, drag the pile inside the 20.
Ben Williams, Williams.
Oh, yes.
And more Williams.
Johnny Williams, Johnny Williams came into this ball game with 4 scores, and he's added to that already, and you just saw some more hard-nosed running there by the Tiger fullback. So here we go, first down. Power running left, bob it outside to the 10, inside the 5. Well, that was a skillful run because he used the blocking beautifully, and that time give the carry to Raymond Brown.
First down Brown or touchdown Brown, whichever you prefer, but he's a good one.
As I see another penalty flag dropped onto the field in our, well, we've seen Ray Brown, we've seen Johnny Williams, and one of the great successes of Terry Stark's wing T is being able to spread the wealth and balance the scoring.
Well, look at that. And there you have Williams going into tonight with 4, Brown 2, Daniels 2, Presley 2, Ward 2, Watson 2. Who do you key?
That's a great question.
Who do you key? Because I can tell you this, they all are very capable.
Okay, power formation, right side, near the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers. And who do they go to?
Looked like Williams to me.
Well, the Tigers rolling it up now. 34-6. The TD blast coming at the 3:21, late third. Berger on for the PAT, spotted clean, booted, and Got it. Let's take another look at the score as we go to break.
Full house backfield, give it to him. Big hole, touchdown.
Back for more on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
Well, the Inderkum Tigers, it took them a little time to start racking up TDs, but that's the case in tonight's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Sacramento mistakes, and another fumble here, a bobble on the kickoff. And I won't speculate on this one. It's right in front of the Inderkum bench, and apparently another fumble recovery. Let's bounce it down to Lauren Goodman. She has an update for us. Lauren?
Will, on the Inderkum Tiger sideline, Joseph Snap, number 8, suffered a severe back injury and will be removed from the game right now. He's on the sideline with the Sac City EMT. He will not be returning for the rest of the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Lauren. Sap, a key part of their defense, and we saw him shiver some timbers with early tackles in this game. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, Sac High is taking a timeout at the 3:10, and we will as well. Stay with us. More to come on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Well, here we are late in the third quarter from Hughes Stadium as visiting Inderkum on top big right now. The third-ranked Tigers leading at 35-6 over host Sacramento. And it's been the third quarter in which they've really stretched the lead. Okay, he wants to throw and does, and it's over everybody's head by quite a margin. So J.J. Ray, a little strong on that toss.
I think just to gain experience. I'm a little surprised maybe when Coach Stark feels this game is that, pretty much in hand with maybe he'll use a little bit of his passing game to give some experience to his quarterback throwing.
From the Sac 28-yard line, a 2nd and 10 upcoming. Slash off the left side. Good opening hole and aggressive cover-up defense there. And Williams load. He's having quite a stellar game.
Well, the Williams family is both offensively and defensively. Johnny not only is a hard-running fullback, but an outstanding outside linebacker. And Devon Williams is doing a great job at defensive end.
3rd and 5. Ray to throw, gets out of a mess and runs it and slips ahead to the 15-yard line.
Has a great effort. A great effort by quarterback Ray.
Let's take another look at that first down scramble.
under heavy pressure, looking like he's going to take the sack. Great balance by Ray. Protect the football. He picks it upfield a good 10, 12 yards, moving the chains. First down, Tigers.
From the 15-yard line. Inside run, Williams has big room and finally strung out, making the 10, possibly the 9. A gain of 5 or 6 with less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Watch Williams just take it off tackle like normal. And again, he's been averaging 6-7 yards at least a clip on that.
He made the 9. I'm calling it a 2nd and 4 as the clock rolls on with a minute and a half left here. Baxter split. They run left, and that one is shut down nicely. Gain of 1 or so.
There wasn't much there for Ray Brown. There really isn't. They ran that counter back off that fake to Williams. Runs that counter back, and just a pretty good job by that sack D. Watch Brown, nowhere to go. Picking up a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Well, it still took 5 Dragons to surround him on that.
Third down on 2 yards. Once again,
up the middle, shut down.
Well, it looked like he got enough of the move the chains.
Williams is getting a real workout, and why not? He came into the game with 108 yards rushing.
First and goal.
Football parked at the Sac High 5. Dragons could really use a break here, causing some kind of a turnover to shut this down, but Tigers riding high right now, ready to pounce for another touchdown.
So there was either a man short, looked like no right guard if we saw that alignment.
Well, we'll be right back. They're going to take a break, so will we. More to come.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to.
What?
Well, the Inderkum Tigers have opened up a 35-6 lead here in the third and threatening for more deep in the red zone here. Football parked at the 5, just 29 seconds remaining in the third. A good crowd in attendance this evening, although it's deceptive, as spacious as Hughes Stadium is. And we see there John Wallace, our game referee, with another extended explanation to Sac High head coach Joe McCray. Well, that whistle is a call to action from the 5-yard line. Tigers pounding on the door. Quarterback keeper near the goal line. Didn't see a call of any kind there right at the goal line, but perhaps a wee bit short. So maybe the length of the football, it's inside the 1.
Well, guess who was the tailback with the direct snap Wildcat? None other than Isaiah Ward.
Ward has been a presence on offense and a menace on defense. We played 3 from Hughes Stadium. Scoreboard showing Inderkum 35, Sac High 6. We'll be right back.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Well, we opened the fourth quarter with the Inderkum Tigers blasting at the door, and unfortunate to see that. And perhaps an update on that later, but our best wishes go with that student athlete. (35-6). And we've got zeros across the clock. I thought we were actually into the fourth quarter. Changing ends like that. But the wind has been taken out of the Sac High sails, attributable to Inderkum's offensive proficiency and hard-hitting defense, and also to Sac High's sputtering offense that includes a shuffle at the quarterback position. Right side running into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers off right tackle. And into the ball game for a rare carry, getting into the end zone, and we're going to give credit to Logan Benoit, 34, for the touchdown blast.
Well, Logan Benoit, the veteran linebacker, senior linebacker Logan Benoit, one of the hardest working guys on Coach Stark's ball club. And I'll tell you,
PAT booted straight and true at 11:47, early fourth. 42-6, here's how.
There you see Logan Benoit going in the end zone.
Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
The Inderkum Tigers rampaging here at Hughes Stadium, 42-6 on top of Sac High, and there's a chip shot kickoff taken outside the 25 and up the near sideline. Stevenson shoved out by 3 Tigers. I gotta believe there's a wee little bit of lip service going on out there. So the 35-point cushion does in fact initiate the running clock as we see it rolling here at the 10-minute mark. And tough luck for Sac High tonight. Head coach Joe McCray trying to patch up a lineup riddled with injuries. And against a number 3 rated Inderkum squad, that's a tough assignment.
Very tough.
Draw play Gain of 2 to the 41.
Well, our clock is running.
Well, Joe McCray, he's going to go back to the drawing board. He's an inspirational leader and a defensive guru, and one can only do so much with a depleted lineup. His roster shredded with early season injuries, and it'll be up to Joe and his staff to keep this team's spirit up. Jackson fires right sideline, several yards out of bounds, incomplete. 3rd and 8.
Well, receiver Drayton is not happy. He feels there should have been a interference call over there, but he should really stay away from that Inderkum bench interlog here.
I agree. Direct snap. Stevenson fires over the middle, high, incomplete, and more contact on the intended receiver. Drayton getting worked over out there on those pass patterns.
Well, he is, but his body language is conducive that right now where he's going to get more body contact.
Well, I understand his point of view. When you get hit and you're not looking, I guess that falls into the cheap shot category. But again, if you're out there in no man's land, it's to be expected to some measure. A fine line. Punt formation shown by the Dragons, trailing it here 42-6, midway 4th. Running clock in effect. Well, this is taking all day to snap. Nice punt. Now I know how Stevenson's averaging 43 yards a kick, including a 55, and he just put that one in the end zone.
Wow. Yeah, I can understand the 43-yard average after that.
That would have been an excellent punt without the roll. So 1st and 10, Inderkum. The Tigers out to the 20 at the 7-minute mark with clock rolling. And the inevitability of a Tiger victory here virtually assured. The 3rd-ranked Tigers have plenty in their tank.
Without a question. I have felt that way all along. Terry's ball club is pretty solid, and perhaps more solid defensively than they've been in a while.
It looks like it tonight. So Coach Stark and staff pretty pleased with tonight's performance, I imagine. Inside running, nice cut to the outside, and a whole lot more across the 35.
Well, once again, Presley, he's a big back. Presley doing the job for Inderkum. Sevion Presley.
It's not easy to crack into that starting backfield, but he's got the credentials for it.
Well, he does. He runs like a fullback. No question. He's one of their biggest backs on the team, about 2'5", 210.
Gain of 15. 1st and 10 Tigers from their own 35. Motion in the backfield. We see several substitutes in there. Nice cutback against the grain, and another 1st down run that time.
Yeah, that's another one of their speed merchants, Watson.
Dino Watson, as we saw on the graphic earlier, he's in for a pair of touchdowns. Moved the stakes. 1st down, Inderkum from the Tiger 46.
Well, on that fumble recovered by Dino, when he picked it up on the run, he was leaving people. Nobody made up any ground on him.
Motion in the backfield. Off tackle right on the delay. And power push by that line. What a surge, and almost a 10-yard run there.
Well, once again, Contreras, Knott, Gillespie, Coughlin, Picelli or Diaz, tight end Ward. I mean, they are, as I mentioned earlier, I felt that fatigue was going to set in with this Sac D. Really.
Well, with Terry indicating ball control was one of his keys, they have certainly demonstrated that. As a result, that Sac defense has been out there a while. Second down. I don't believe the yard markers anymore. They need a couple from the 46 of Sac. Right side sweep, stop, reverse, and get drilled for a loss.
Well, he was to the line of scrimmage. If he would have went down. Javon Felton coming in with the tackle from that secondary.
Well, Rushton Grisby.
When they run that east-west sweep, what I call east-west sweep, they tire you down because I tell you, they make you run 30 or 40 yards to try to make a tackle.
3:20 left in this one with the running clock. And a stoppage and another near sideline conference. Joe McRae of the Sac Dragons expressing his opinion.
Meanwhile, the clock's ticking away.
Under 3 minutes now. Turn and give, left side sweep. Big speed, can anyone catch him? Finally shoved out near the 20. I believe that was Anthony Douglas. Again, a deep brigade of running backs. They spot the football just about right on the 20, and just a shade over 2 minutes. This is one of those unusual nights where the chain crew looks way more exhausted than any of the players. Okay, up to the line rapidly, 1:45 to go. Tigers threatening for more. Not on that play, they won't. Well read and handled. Don't forget, our Lauren Goodman will be interviewing our players of the game in our post-game segment. So if you've been watching along with us, you can speculate on your guesses, and I think we've picked two outstanding student athletes for those honors, but you'll have to wait just a wee bit longer. Minute 10 and rolling. Let's see if what kind of a play Terry Stark calls here with a comfortable 42-6 lead. Second down. Well, they try to go wide, and again, the same result there. Stevenson came roaring up from the secondary to help on that tackle, assisting Jordan Drayton.
Well, nowhere for Rushton Grisby to go. Not the biggest back, 5'7", 150, and he just couldn't turn the corner there.
And he looked a little dizzy coming off the field there. I think he was starting to go for the wrong sideline. So we're down to 20 seconds or so, and I can't imagine the need for another play.
No, I don't think Coach Stark, if he doesn't take a knee, he's going to the sideline. I don't think they're going to run a play.
Well, we are getting to that point of conceding this game, and as James Cagney was heard to say in White Heat, the examination's over. 42-6, an impressive, overwhelming victory by the Inderkum Tigers, with a second half barrage that turned it into a lopsided victory after a tight first half. But a game loaded with mistakes, penalties, stoppages, and so forth, and sportsmanship shown out on the field. These ball players know each other from youth football and so forth, and certainly can ease up now from the intensity they had out on the field. There's Terry Stark, his Tigers notching their third consecutive win in grand fashion, and back to the drawing board for the Sac-High Dragons. Well, don't wander off. We have more to come here on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Our post-game segment is upcoming, and again, Lauren Goodman will be interviewing our players of the game. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool. Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25. Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
The verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening here at Hughes Stadium on the campus of Sacramento City College. And Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week, visiting Inderkum, rolls it up in the second half to pull away and blast host Sacramento by a final count of 42-6. The vaunted wing tee of head coach Terry Stark tuning up nicely, particularly after the intermission. And our players of the game have been selected. Johnny Williams of the Inderkum Tigers and Devon Drayton of the Sac-High Dragons, both turning in superlative individual efforts. And our Lauren Goodman is standing by with our players of the game. Lauren?
Here with both of our players of the game, standouts, one from Sac-High, one from Inderkum. First, let's start with the losing team, unfortunately, Devon Drayton, number 4, big-time game, big-time plays. How important is that for your team?
So good. You know, we got to play better and come out with the win.
So young, so impressive. You try to do everything for your team. How good is it for you to be a spark plug for your team going forward, getting out of this 0-3 start?
Ooh, we just got to work harder. You know, if I pick up practice, they got to pick up practice. We're going to come out with a win eventually.
Great game, Devon. Good luck with the rest of the season. Now for Inderkum, I have Johnny Williams. Now, Johnny, you made big plays, scoring big for Inderkum, playing on the defensive side. How big is your spark to your team?
It's very big. I try to do all I can to help my team come out with the win.
You played very aggressive on defense, translated to your offensive side. How is your team only going to grow and get better from this 3-0 start?
It's going to grow tremendously. It's just a little win and our big season to come.
Now you guys are going to play big, heavy hitters going into league now. How comfortable do you feel you and your team are?
Very comfortable. We still got a lot of room to work on. A lot of room to work.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Now with the winning coach from Inderkum, Terry Stark. Coach, you wanted to make some adjustments at halftime. How do you feel like your guys responded?
Good. We changed up our blocking schemes a little bit and had more individual blocks, down blocks instead of double teams. And we picked those guys up, and then we took advantage of running off tackle instead of trying to run outside our tight end, and that really paid off for us.
Coach, a combination of spark plugs and the running back running that wing tee for you. How important is every player's impact into the game, not just one single back, but all of them collectively?
Well, in our offense, all 11 guys got to be doing the right thing. It's not a zone scheme where you can get away with half the team doing the right thing and the other half doing something else. So it's real important, and they have to know their plays inside and out every position. And then we also switch some guys around back and forth, and they got to know both positions. So, real big.
Coach, with your history with Sac High and knowing what they're capable of, how do you and the Tigers build on today's game?
Well, we just got to get better every week. They have a good team. They're tough. You know, we just jumped on them early and finished the game, but they're going to come back, and they're going to win a lot of games. They'll be in the playoffs, and this is always a good game for us.
Well, congratulations, Coach, on the victory, and good luck on the rest of the season. Thank you. Will, that's all from the field. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. If you can still hang on there for a second, I wanted to ask you, throughout the course of the game, it kind of seemed like a warm and sticky kind of an evening. That breeze died way down. How were things out on the field in terms of hydration and what you were seeing in terms of the temperature at game time? Okay, well, evidently a communication flaw there, but what we did see, however, was Inderkum handled early by a tough Sacramento defense, but when they broke it in the second half, Jim, you could see the morale dropping for the Sac High defense, and fatigue also becoming a factor.
Definitely fatigue setting in because Coach Stark is running many backs at them, running east, west, north, south on them. Williams keeping them honest up the middle, and then enough speed outside. Brown and the Sparrow getting outside. They run the counter back inside, so they've got so many plays. And give credit to that front line of Knott, Contreras, Gillespie, Coughlin opening up those holes. So there were holes there. Williams ran hard. His yards after contact, he had a complete football game, and he is one tough threat inside. And along with the outside speed of a Sparrow, Watson, Brown, they got some people coming at you all the time. And then, like I said, Williams is going to move the chains inside. Yes, they don't. Right now, they're playing like they don't need that passing game array.
That's a fact. They will need it down the road, but it's already been established as being at least effective to the extent where it has to be played honest and respected by the defenses, particularly with this run game. The tendency to bring more people into the box to stuff the run is going to make things easier for receivers to get open.
They execute, and one thing you got to watch when you're watching film there, it's not just the initial hole. Watch the offside blocking downfield. They get involved downfield, and that is your great wing T teams. They excel at doing that, and give Coach Stark and his staff. And one feather I'd like to bring up is Coach Salinas with a very, very tough defense to go with this good offense.
That is not to be underestimated. Certainly our caps off for that defensive effort by the Tigers. Now, next week, we got a change of pace for you. We're going to go back indoors. And there's a good reason for that, because the 2018 edition of the Holy Court Battle volleyball, girls volleyball, and the most fierce volleyball rivalry in the Sac Joaquin section. It will be Christian Brothers taking a little trip over to face St. Francis in one of the fabled rivalries, and that'll be right here on Access Sacramento a week from tonight. So put that one on your calendar. Girls volleyball, Christian Brothers, and St. Francis. Well, that wraps it up here from Hughes Stadium this evening for the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Access Sacramento and the Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew wish to express their deep appreciation of the Sacramento High School administration, particularly Athletic Director Greg Norris, for their cooperation and assistance with the broadcast arrangements for this television production. The Hometown Sports Game of the Week is a special sports presentation of Access Sacramento in association with Play-by-Play Sports Productions. For the Imperator, Jim Domino and Lauren Goodman and the entire Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew, I'm Will James. We thank you for tuning in and look forward to the next occasion when we can join you. So long, everyone.
This program from Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento, 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.